welcome to Going Uphill Both Ways, third episode. And this is a cool one, guys, because today we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat. But I think we all have great memories of Mortal Kombat. So looking forward to this.
Yeah, and the other exciting thing about this is that we're actually going to be fighting each other live. Well, I say live, it's live right now, but maybe not in the recording. But we're going to be fighting each other for the world to see.
In real time.
Yeah. Good luck, Nathan. Good luck. We practiced a little. Nathan was pretty good. But we'll see what happens here. So everybody, welcome to Uphill Both Ways episode 3. We've done Super Mario. We've done Resident Evil, and now we go to one of the most iconic fighting games ever created, Mortal Kombat.
My favorite fighting series.
Okay, so that's interesting. Why don't you go into that? So this is your favorite fighting series out of any fighters?
Yes.
You know how you disagreed with me on Mario being the Super Mario? I will tell you that I disagree. I think there are 2 ahead of this. Maybe, actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to say there's 3 ahead of this.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Soul Calibur, and then I'm going to go with Tekken, and then I'm going to go with Street Fighter. But I'd put
3
Mortal Kombat
ahead of it?
Yeah, I would. Now, for its time when this came out, don't get me wrong, this game was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, that's why it's my favorite, because of what it meant to me then.
Okay.
So I still hold it in such high regard because I didn't care about fighting games too much until Mortal Kombat. Everybody's playing Street Fighter. I played it. I had it. But I just kind of was like, it was just something fun to do when there was friends over.
Okay.
I didn't get into it real brutally. Mortal Kombat, because I was a child and I got to rip people's spinal cords out. That was what made it happen for me. The fact that you could beat your friend and then kill your friend brutally, that was just fantastic to me.
So, everybody, we do have moves pulled up here, which should be interesting. So we may see some fatalities. That's if I can make sure to beat Nathan for you guys. Now, Nathan, you have declared that you were very good at Mortal Kombat.
I was. I don't. Maybe not now. Now I'm just okay. Tonight I'm gonna only be subpar because I'm playing with the mouse and keyboard. But I'm okay at Mortal Kombat. Pretty good. I can hold my own. I typically win when I play.
I refuse to play these types of games with a mouse and keyboard, so I will be playing with an Xbox Elite controller, which gives me a slight advantage. And I'm also hosting this, so it's also going to give me a slight advantage that I have no lag and you have a tiny bit.
You have a tiny. It's about a quarter of a second.
So bad. I want to make sure that we put that out there in fairness that there's no excuses when I whoop your ass. So yeah, Mortal Kombat for me was interesting. I mean, graphically, there was nothing like this game. They kind of took that real life, like the motion cap, and they kind of threw it into a fighting game for the first time, which was interesting.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen anybody do that yet. Well, there was an example actually called Cage Fighter, I think, where they did the same thing. Pit Fighter, that's it.
Oh, Pit Fighter was a fantastic game. Yeah, they did the same
people,
thing.
Right? Wasn't it still John Tobias?
It might have been
one of them.
It was
something like that. Yeah, and they did the same thing there. Not really a good game though. Mortal Kombat was the one where it was actually a pretty good game. Now I also have to say, in retrospect, right, the Mortal Kombat, this one, the first one, really isn't that great of a game. I gotta say it. It's clunky. It's not very smooth.
But for the time, I mean, this was a 16-bit fighter.
Right. For the time, this was life.
Yeah, and if you go back to even Street Fighter in the 16-bit era, it was the same. It wasn't the smooth masterpiece that we know these games to be now, for sure. For sure. But
going back to them now is kind of a mind blow because in your memory, looking back, you're like, man, that game looks so cool and realistic and ran so good, and you can remember Raiden like going into his move all smoothly, and then you play it and you're like, oh, I was just imagining half of that.
I think that's how it works for a lot of games, right? Like we think that we in our head, like I remember Final Fantasy VII, for example. I remember them being fully fledged out characters, and then you go play it, and they're octagons and polygons and stuff. So.
Yeah, they just got like blocks for hands.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's fight a little bit, and we'll talk while we're fighting, and we can kind of go into it from there. So I think that's the way to go with this video. So my main in this was Johnny Cage, but we have to give people a Scorpion versus Sub-Zero match, at least at some point.
Okay.
So I don't know who you prefer. Who do you prefer out of those two?
Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I don't really mind either one, honestly. If you have a preference, you can do that.
All right, I'll take Scorpion. If you want to fight, we'll have a warm-up fight with our not best characters.
Yeah.
Now I have practice as Scorpion, so you're definitely in trouble.
Not good. I don't even know what low punch is. That's the one button I need for Sub-Zero.
Same with me. All right, here we go. This is going to be the battle of uppercuts.
Okay, that was not low punch.
You gotta get the controller running next time if we play it, because...
Yeah, actually, here right after this match, if you don't mind, I'll run in there and try to grab my license.
Oh, no! Got me in the...
Ow! Ow! Oh, yeah!
I got caught in the I'm gonna keep getting up and keep getting kicked in the face move. There was that, and there was the sweep rotation. Those are the two you just didn't want to get caught in. My biggest problem in fighting games is I never block. It's very similar to Mario, how I never let go of the run button. In fighting games, I am not a defensive player.
Yeah, I'm normally not either, except for in Mortal Kombat. I kind of do in certain scenarios, but I'm not one of those guys that you see like the pros and they'll be blocking like.
That's why I always had a hard time playing like Dead or Alive, because it's so counter based, and I'm not defensive. So
I agree with that 100%.
Look at these graphics. I'm behind this wall. Oh no! Oh!
Just out real quick. That was a flawless victory.
Oh Jesus! I you flawless victoried me.
I did.
All right, there's revenge coming. I'm going Johnny Cage.
With a quarter-second delay too.
So the funny part too is this game had 7 fighters, and that's it.
Yeah, didn't it seem like this was totally acceptable?
It was so. If a fighting game came out today with 7, there was a problem.
Oh yeah, nobody would tolerate these.
No.
I really don't even remember how to do anything but that Kamehameha, whatever it is. Oh, dang it. It's gonna look awful, like we're the worst players ever.
Oh, oh, how did you evade that? That's some bad collision detection there, because that was the end of the fight right there.
I'm gonna
stun you with the nut punch, uppercut.
Acclaim says I won, so I'm gonna take it.
Oh man! All right, these shenanigans must stop.
I'm gonna slow that down for sure when I go back. We do the editing for that.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting wrecked. Oh, I just am giving you uppercuts. Oh my gosh! Oh man. Can you uppercut me off the pit?
Oh, I can. I forgot.
That's
all about
right.
it.
That's all right. So
okay, we'll play another.
This game also was the first with environments like that, right? So you could actually uppercut somebody off the pit. That was something super new, like that you could interact with a stage. Nothing had that back then.
Yeah, that was unheard of. Yeah.
Oh,
the fact that
this was the player 1 has entered the tournament. The computer's like, well, since you've been so bad with Johnny Cage, we're gonna just pick Johnny Cage to go against him. All right, I'm going back to Johnny Cage. I think
I'm gonna go with Kano. I used to like him back in the day too.
Nobody likes Kano.
Yeah, did you know that's why they didn't put Kano and Sonya in Mortal Kombat 2? Because they were the least played characters.
Huh. There you go. Sonya was in 2, wasn't she?
No, she was tied up in the background of one of the.
And we got Goro's lair here.
I don't remember any of this guy's moves.
I can't remember how to do that. There it is.
Oh, there it was. So he's got the the energy ball, the ball cracker, and then that one, right? That's
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
And I am just getting whooped trying to do all this fancy stuff. Time to get old school.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kicks.
no!
Oh man, that was a good match.
That was very good.
Look
I
at that help.
freaking try to low kick instead of sweep you. That's why I scream
Yeah, I
out now.
keep doing that too.
It is definitely. Oh, I was so out of range.
The beauty of lag, I guess.
Oh, it's like playing in the arcade. I wasn't even close to that. Oh,
No.
get him!
Can't get through the block.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, what's the
I remember
finisher?
doing
What's
that
the
same
finisher?
move. I'm pretty sure right-ins is like down, up, or
Mine is close. Forward, high punch. So I'm gonna get that one. We're gonna get that on cam if I can beat you. It's funny because you had said, this wasn't the greatest fighting game, but as funny as it is, like right now we're having a really good time.
Oh yeah, it is fun.
And you know what you have to say about fighting games? Like, so with any fighting game, it's good if you have a friend that'll play it with you. And if it's competitive. If you're really good and your friend's not, it doesn't last very long because your friend usually just quits.
Yeah. Rage quit.
Yeah. But I would say that if you have a friend who's into the fighting game with you and you can exchange wins and losses, it's a blast. There's times where when I was playing this game, like whoever won had to do something. Like if someone had to take the trash out or anything, like especially in later games, like when I moved out on my own.
Yeah.
Like I remember fighting my dad at this, and he would let me stay up later if I could beat him.
Yeah, my dad did something interesting with Mortal Kombat. We bought it, right? And he said, if you can beat this game tonight, because he knew how hard it was in the arcade. It was like super hard, this game, to beat in the arcade. So he was like, if you can beat this game tonight, I'll get you a new game tomorrow. So I did it, right? Dude, I did it. And I beat it, and I ran to go get him, right? And by the time he came back downstairs, it just said game over. Because, after you beat the game, it would say game over, right?
Yeah.
The ending was already over and everything. And he didn't believe me. He was like, no, come on now, son. I know what game over means. It does not mean you beat it. It sucked. So I didn't get my free game.
Oh, he missed it.
But Dad, if you're watching this, just want you to know I really did beat it. You do owe me a game.
Dude, I will tell you that playing fighting games with friends is one of my greatest, one of the greatest enjoyments of my life. Like, I love fighting games. I really
agree.
do.
I agree. There's just something brings you back to your roots. It's not acceptable for us to beat the hell out of each other in real life,
especially these days. Back in the day, maybe.
Right.
How? You kicked my toe?
It was because you kicked. He caught his leg.
Oh, that was high kick. I messed up kicks and punches. We'll keep going here. So, we didn't even start talking about probably the most important part of Mortal Kombat. What is this? I forgot about this. What do?
You got a punch. Is it low punch, maybe?
Oh, we were supposed to go already. We just messed that up. I like how you get points for strength. What does that mean? Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't think it probably means anything.
They just give you a point.
Just when you're dragging, right?
You hear my button clicks. I cannot get it to do the kick. All right. No!
No! Oh, God! We got the wheel! Oh!
Oh! Is it the input lag?
It probably is.
I gotta slow it down. It's the first time when you do a fighting game where you have to actually slow down the button input.
So here's my question to you.
Yeah.
We're playing the Super Nintendo version because that's the version we can do on this website. There's no blood, as you guys may have noticed.
Yeah.
But the Super Nintendo game was superior.
It looked
graphically speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, this looked better, but it didn't matter back then for me. I was a Genesis kid.
Yeah, me too. This time.
And that was the That was the ultimate defense to every Super Nintendo kid who said that Genesis sucked. Like, oh yeah, was there blood?
Yeah. How'd you like that sweat, buddy? How'd you like knock him? Do you remember what it does in the pit in the Super Nintendo version, dude?
No.
Oh boy, it's fine. We gotta do it.
So, do I just uppercut?
Okay, yeah, just uppercut. Bam! Watch this. She missed every spike.
That's clever. Well done, Acclaim. You know, the other thing we haven't really done was, oh, you just did it as I was going to say it. We haven't done like the rapid punching. And
yeah,
just
I was waiting for a good moment to do this. It's classic. Such a classic.
Your timing with the uppercut is very impressive. You're able to pick me out of the air with that uppercut pretty well. You're pretty well.
That won me a lot of matches back when I was a child.
So, you know, the other thing we didn't talk about is like this game, Street Fighter, you had M. Bison, Vega, Balrog, I'm missing Sagat is like the villains that you fight. So you had like four villains that at first you couldn't play. That was pretty cool, right? So in this one, you had Goro and Shang Tsung. And Shang Tsung could turn into other people, right? Because that's the thing. So,
yeah.
But Goro, I remember just the first time I got to Goro, that was such an epic moment.
Oh, like, yeah, dude. He looks so cool, man. Goro was my favorite, dude.
I would say, though, that this is probably the greatest rivalry in fighting games.
Oh, yeah. I could agree with that. Very cool, too, how...
It was also genius to have a palette swap like they did that created so many iconic characters.
Yeah, even Reptile, the secret character of this game was... just a palette swap.
Could you play Reptile, or you just could fight him in the first one?
You could just fight him in the pit, yeah. The witches had to go across the moon, and freaking you had to win with an uppercut. No, that's not right. Something. I remember the witches had to go across the moon.
And then you would like fight him.
Yeah. There's a lot of orange.
So here's something interesting that we did. Fighting games. Do you have a screen side that you like to be on? There we go.
Yeah, I like to be in the one-player position where you start on the left.
Yeah, so in not so much Mortal Kombat, but in fighting games where you have to roll, like usually like a down to forward, I actually prefer I'm better at rolling down to right than I am down to left. So that's a secret for me when I'm playing Street Fighter. I'm okay, I don't know what to do here.
With a bunch of stuff. It's gotta be something. Oh, do you just hold it until it gets to the bar and then press block?
I don't know, but whatever it was, it wasn't that. I was hitting rotating buttons. I hope you picked Sub-Zero. That was the finishing move in this one?
So stupid on the Super Nintendo, dude. So lame.
So you have that on the Super Nintendo, and on the Genesis you have that head uppercut off. Man, was that rough. So you said this is your favorite. Now, obviously, we're talking about Mortal Kombat 1 tonight, but you can't just pretend the rest of the Mortal Kombat doesn't exist. So, for you, not best, because we could obviously go to the newest one and say, well, this is cool. I mean, what was your best experience? Like, what's your fondest memories? Which one?
My fondest memories are Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2 is just like the way you're supposed to do sequel. More characters, better graphics, smoother gameplay, more moves, more everything. Everything you loved about Mortal Kombat, there wasn't just double. There was like, they just poured it on. More secret characters. Goro was awesome in Mortal Kombat 1, so what'd they do? Mortal Kombat 2, meet Kentaro. And even cooler, freaking Goro. Like, they just nailed it, man. And the story got bigger. Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung got young. He wasn't the old geezer anymore. Dude, Mortal Kombat 2 is just the best, dude. It's the best.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 is great. And I'm going to share a story for the stream here. So, I used to love going to arcades, and I think you've said the same. I spent a lot of times in arcades. And I remember I went to the mall, and if I'm not mistaken, it was in Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh. It was Century 3 Mall. And on the downstairs level, they had an arcade. And I was there shopping with my dad, and we always stop by the arcade, so we're going to. And we come downstairs near the food court, and there's just this line. And the line is, I'm talking, you would think that they were like meeting a celebrity line, or like a Pittsburgh Steeler or something. It was just a crazy big line. And so I look, and I guess they had just wheeled in, like on a, dolly. They just wheeled in Mortal Kombat 2. So I didn't know, nobody knew it was gonna be there. I get in this line, and I'm a pretty young kid at this point, and I'm standing in the back of the line, and there's this one guy standing up at the front, just dominating people. He literally clears the entire line, and I get up to him, right? So keep in mind at this point, like, I had played this on Genesis every single day. I was really good at the first game. Obviously, the second one was a little bit smoother, and I didn't know much about it. So I get up there, and I'm watching all these people just down. This guy looks at me, and I know he took me a little light because like, oh, hey kid, what's up? You know, like this guy was the hot shit of the day, like sitting there rolling. And don't get me wrong, as a kid, I thought he was. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he's there killing everybody. So I looked through the fighter list, and instead of going with someone I knew, I saw Baraka. And I'm like, I'm a real big horror fan, and I like Freddy Krueger. I'm like, oh my God, he's kind of like Freddy Krueger. So I picked Baraka, and I remember that I accidentally found out the long blade swipe, and I just kept catching him with it, and I took him down. And I took him down, and that crowd went nuts. And I'm sure, again, it was probably a little bit of him being like, I'll go a little easier on this kid, but I don't think he wanted to lose, don't get me wrong. So he gets in the back of the line. I clear the whole line the same way he did. He gets back up to me, and he whooped my ass. Like, he taught me a lesson. He picked like his best character, and just bam, I was done.
Nice.
But I will never forget that moment, and that's probably one of the reasons I love Mortal Kombat. To have a moment like that just lives on through the entire series, from 1 all the way to where we're at now. I'll always play them because I had that experience, and it wouldn't have happened without the arcade. All right, guys, so tell us your Mortal Kombat stories. You know, I had the arcade one. We talked about the blood code stories, the movie stories. Tell us your stories in the comments. What did Mortal Kombat mean to you? Were you a Mortal Kombat person, or were you a Street Fighter person?
And on that note, guys, real quick, there's a guy who follows my channel a lot. He pretty much watches every video. I'm gonna call him out. His name is Mushy, and he has a ridiculous Mortal Kombat story. Mushy, I want you to share that down below.
Oh, please do. That's the kind of stuff we love, guys. The reason we do these videos is to not just sit here and bullshit with each other, which is ultimately me and Nathan could probably do for hours on end about anything, but it's to get you guys in on the conversation. Like, these games are really meaningful to us, but I'm sure everybody, as we said, has some pretty amazing stories or things to say about Mortal Kombat. So please share it. Let's make it a community in the comments below.
Yeah, definitely. And also, don't forget, guys, to let us know for some game you want to watch. We pretty good ideas last week. So what you're doing is you're adding things to the bucket so that we can, eventually get to them. And so any game you think we might have both played, drop it down below. If we both played it, we'll do it.